Good day, internet people.
Good day.
I wasn't sure if you was going to do that then. Well, Lena here, bringing you weeds. And lots of them. And boy are these things gross when it comes to the numbers department. Allow me to explain why. Here we go. Let's start with the starting Vanguard. I choose to use Bud Maiden Hoe. Her ability is GB1, counter boss 1, put it into the soul, choose one of your other units. If you do, choose up to 4 of your units with the same card name as that unit, and they get plus 5k until the end of turn. That's right, this one card can provide you with up to 20k's worth of power in one very fell swoop. It's so good, I run to. Very specific reason for that, which we'll get onto a bit later on. Needless to say, that was the anime's fault that I picked that one. It was a feature of the my previous version of the Nectar deck before this set came out, and I've stuck with it because it's just too good of a thing not to do. We'll move on to the triggers next. We start with 4 copies of Flower Garden Maiden Milis. This is the Vanguard specific trigger. Basically, when your Ranunculus Vanguard attacks, you can put this unit into the soul to draw a card and give your Vanguard another plus 5k, because throwing more power around is just funny. There's three more crits to make 7. I use 7 in this deck, and also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 draw triggers, just to keep the hand size big. And there's the 4 heals, because obviously healing is very important, and therefore we don't dare do anything other than run 4. Moving on to the grade 1s, 2 8k vanillas. This is basically ride targets. That's all I can say about it. It's a perfect thing to start with. So I always hope to draw into one for the first turn. 4 perfs. The unflip is not entirely required, I don't think. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's one card that would definitely make me want to use it, so we'll get onto that one a bit later on. That's not 3, hang on, the 4th one's in there somewhere. There we go, 4. Drop for strides. Also can search out your Ahsha if needed, but only when it's played from the hand. A number of times I've forgotten that it's only when you play it from the hand, not when you superior coil it with skills. Dang it. Sometimes I have to remind myself that that's a thing that works. So the critical trigger there, that was the first, I think, new addition to the deck. Here's the second, and it's early Flowering Maiden Pia. This card is hilarious. Once per turn on the rear guard, GB1, choose 2 normal units from your drop zone, so basically anything that's not a trigger. Put them on top of your deck in any order. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ranunculus in its card name, choose up to one of your units. Apologies for the fireworks, you might give away what evening I'm filming this video on. Thanks a ton, chaps. Oh god, they're not going to stop now. That's right, no more. Okay, back to this. Yeah, if you have grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ranunculus in its card name, choose one of your units, and if you do, choose up to 4 of your units with the same card name as that unit and that unit. And they all get plus 3k. Now this can stack once for each copy of this unit that is in play. So you can, if you have all 4 of them out, you can do it 4 times, once for each card, and give something, probably themselves, plus 12,000 power each, which is good. Very nice indeed. It's a great card. I mean, the anime showed it off very nicely in one episode, so there you go. That was a good example as you could ever possibly ask for. Obviously, that's the main grade 1 you want on your back row. If you happen to get the 4th one in play, then you can just laugh all the way to the bank, I suppose. Grade 2s, again, vanillas, 2 10ks, because, again, ride targets. It's just a really good card to ride. People complain about vanillas. I do consider you guys to be wrong if you bash vanillas. These are great things to ride, and that's why they stay in the deck. I keep them in the deck very specifically. It's a very deliberate choice, and I stand by it all the way. Now this one you can either pick, you can pick between this card, or there is one other alternative depending on which way you want to do it. I've decided to keep Wheelwind Dragon in the deck because the double unflip is very nice, and usually people don't want it to hit. Because I mean, you don't use that much counterblast, but you do kind of get through a bit, so you want that unflip when needed. So having it around, and especially when you slam some power on it with abilities, it's very nice. But when it hits a Vanguard on GB1, you can basically just unflip two damage for free. It's very nice. Next one, it's got to be made in the flower screen, just to ensure that you get you have your multiple copies of things for further shenanigans. That once per turn, choose a normal unit from your drop zone. So again, anything that's not a trigger, put it on top of your deck. Choose one of your other units, and this unit will be regarded as a card with the same name as that unit until the end of turn. And then of course you shuffle your deck. This can lead to a lot of very amusing shenanigans. I have had an entire back row of Pia and one on the front row. Called this down, given it the same name as Pia, and done certain gross things with the card. We'll see in a minute. It's very funny. Before, the previous version of this deck had Maiden of Venus Trap reverse as its backup grade 3. That's now gone because we wanted to copy things, and this card is quite good for it. This is Crystal Wing Dragon. This is the new common grade 3 in the GBTF4. When it's placed on the Vanguard circle, you may counterblast 1 and soul blast 1. Choose one of your grade 2 or less rearguards and search your deck for up to one card with the same name as it and call it to rearguard. Shuffle your deck. This is wonderful because it immediately allows you to copy a unit. It also allows you to get a perfect guard out of the soul into the drop zone. If you had no choice but to ride it on the first turn, because you can always put it back in the deck later. Also, Pia can do the same thing as well. But yeah, so it's actually quite good. Also, the GB1 skill is very good. Once per turn, you can counterblast 1 and basically just do Pia's ability. It's counterblast 1, choose one of your units, and if you do, choose up to 4 of them with the same card name, and they get plus 3k. Great. Perfect. Just what we want from this deck. It's very, very good. And of course, the main grade 3 is Ahsha. Ranunculus Flower Maiden Ahsha. That good old GP2 skill, which is so good. All of your units, as long as there's more than one copy of them in play, get plus 5k. That's fantastic. And the on stride ability, which is great. Now again, when you're counterblast 1, when your G unit strides, choose one of your rearguards, search your deck for up to one card with the same name, call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck, and give that called unit plus 2. The thing that both of these cards do usually is copy my starter. Because if you go first and you ride this, if you haven't been calling a lot of things down, the only thing on the rearguard is going to be this. Similarly, if you go second and you stride first, it's entirely possible that your only rearguard is this. So that's why we play 2, so we can copy them. That's very important. I choose to sacrifice a grade 2 position, a grade 2 unit for this. So you can choose to ditch a grade 1 for this space. That one's entirely up to you. I was going to say, sorry, I've completely forgotten about old Wheelwind Dragon. I was going to say that your other alternative, if you don't mind spending more counterblast, is to run Maiden of Gladiolus when it's boosted, to choose one of your other units and copy it to the rearguard. So that's the other option. Either way is fine. I prefer Wheelwind Dragon personally. This is, of course, the way I want to play the deck. Moving on to the strides. First stride without fail, Arborea. You always want to be threatening to copy more things so that you're bored. I was going to say bored. I'm thinking of Magic the Gathering again. Sorry. You always want to be threatening to have your field set up by the time you go off with bigger strides later on. So when this thing hits the Vanguard, choose one of your rearguards, copy it copy it once, and the copied unit gets plus 2. So it's quite fun to stride this on top of Ahsha, copy the starter, give it plus 2, call a Wheelwind Dragon or something, and if then this hits, you copy the Wheelwind, give it plus 2, and it can still hit the Vanguard if it hasn't been given a trigger, because 11. That's usually how we do things. That's the fun thing to do with the first stride. So that's stride out number 1. I only run 2 of this, but it seems to be working out very, very well. I was debating whether it was going to be 2 or 4 of this and 2 of the other card you'll see in a minute, but I've settled on 2 and I'm very glad I did. Ahsha's personal stride, Dream Spinning Ranunculus Ahsha, is ridiculously good. I've actually found using her as a second stride even better than the card you're going to see after this. This is ridiculously good. And it doesn't even need an Ahsha to be stridden upon it. I mean, it helps for Ahsha's own on-stride ability, but yeah, this is just such a good card. Once per turn, you turn a copy of itself face up, and if you do, this unit gets activated once per turn. Choose one of your rear guards. I can't see it very well from here. My eyes are terrible. Choose one of your rear guards. If you have 2 or more rear guards with the same card name as that unit, all of your units in the front row get plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. Again, very good. Throws the power around. Then, if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, which of course you'll have stridden this first, so you will, you choose one of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as that unit, call it to rear guard, shuffle your deck, and the called unit gets plus 2. So it does Ahsha's thing again, which is just brilliant. I've created some ridiculously high-powered turns out of Ahsha's stride. I wasn't expecting it to be that. It seemed a bit underwhelming when it was announced and then when it came out, but having used it and practiced with it a bit, it's brilliant. It's actually won me games, so what can I say? It's Phil laughs, you know the pain.
Yeah, it hits numbers easily.
It does hit numbers very easily. And then if that doesn't kill him, Jingle Flower does. So the original plan was either going to be that we use 2 of this and 4 of this, or 2 of this and 4 of this. I've settled on this way, and again, so glad that I did, because Jingle Flower is nuts. I was saying about having a rear guard that had 4 piers on it and 1 Maiden of Flower screen to give it the same name, because then when this thing's ability is used, which is once per turn, choose a copy of itself, turn it face up from your G-Zone there. If the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, choose one of your units, and until the end of turn, it gets continuous Vanguard and Rear Guard. During your turn, all of your units gets plus 2k for each of your units with the same card name as this unit. So of course, if you happen to have 4 piers on the Rear Guard and another card that happens to have the same name as it, all of your units get plus 10k each. That's insane. Also, it's just funny.
Yeah.
So as I've said, if Ahsha doesn't kill them, Jingle Flower does. Or at the very least, you just ensure that they don't ever have a hand ever. Because I'm a nice person. I just don't,
Yeah.
So this is how I do it. Oh, by the way, there's one more stride. The great thing about having 8 slots is that you have 1 spare, you see, for cute gnome cat sleeves. Yay! You can either choose to attack lots or you can attack often. This is the main reason why I have the wheel winds and the unflipping perfect guards in, because Primavera takes a bit of a hefty cost. The old Counterblast 3, choose 5 not trigger units from your drop zone, put them on top of your deck in any order, then choose a card from your hand and discard it. It's a hefty cost. However, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose up to 2 of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 2 cards with the same card name as each of those units, call them to separate rear guards and shuffle your deck. It's awkwardly worded, but it basically means you attack with the rear guard, attack with the rear guard, attack with her, pay her cost, do her thing, pick 2 of your units, and give yourself 2 brand new columns again. So you basically will attack 5 times in a turn, and they will all be usually at least 16,000 with the exception of the Vanguard, which attacks for lots more. So you can either, again, it gives you the choice. If you don't think that just outright numbers will do the trick, then number of attacks will do the trick. It's generally how it works. It's nice and versatile, and that's what I like.
You tailor it to your current situation, don't you?
Yes, exactly. Having that versatility, is what I think is quite important to being able to do alright with your Vanguard deck. I've been very much enjoying playing this deck. It's actually become quite possibly my favourite deck to play at the moment. But then again, Pale Moon's getting support soon, so I should look forward to that too. You know that there'll be a deck profile for that when I get hold of some of their cards. Also, there's no stride. Yay! It's if I can afford the damn things. But yeah, so this is my current version of the Neo Nectar deck. I might test with Maiden of Gladiolus instead of Wheelwind Dragon, but we'll see. We'll see. As it is, please feel free to let me know what you think of my version of the Neo Nectar deck in the comment section below. Provide any thoughts, suggestions. If you can find a way of making it even more disgusting than it is, I'd like to hear it. And stay tuned for more fun times very soon, because we're going to film a whole bunch of videos tomorrow. Hopefully. If enough people are there. We'll see! Just know that there will be a Turken, Rurken, Birken, Schmerken, and Birken, Schnurken, Perken, Turken Rambu sneak peek.
That's the one.
On Wednesday. So look forward to that, and we shall see you then. Until then, goodbye, internet people!
Bye-bye.